Hey there, everyone. Today, I just watched this video from Glen Beck. I believe it came out yesterday, and I just want to do a quick live stream and give my thoughts on this. He's talking about basically, are we where what he thinks anyway, where we're headed by 2025. Like I said, this is just going to be a quick live stream today. Just wanted to jump on. I will probably be doing these from time to time. Anytime I see something and just want to do a quick video, I'll probably do that. But let me pull up this video, and I've got a couple different parts of this that I want to play. This is a listener question, and they asked about threats that China has made. You've got just a whole bunch of different things going on. You've got the stuff in the Middle East going on between Iran and Saudi Arabia. You've got China and Russia becoming buddies. But let me play this real quick, and then I'll elaborate a little bit, give my thoughts on it.
Earlier this morning, you mentioned China made a threat yesterday.
Yeah.
To the United States, and I'd love to know what that is.
Okay. Well, you're going to love it. It may not improve your mood much, but they said that they are now, hang on just a second, I got to get right to it, that they are now special partners and that change with Russia mm-hmm. and change is coming. This is according to Z. Change is coming that hasn't happened in over 100 years, and we will drive this change together. They also said that there is a
real quick change that hasn't happened in 100 years. You think back to 100 years ago, and we were right between World War I, World War II. I don't know exactly what change they're talking about. I don't know what happened in China back then. I know things were looking pretty well. I suppose, Russia, things were looking or going to look pretty bad for Russia. So I don't know exactly what he's talking about there. But it does seem like what he's talking about here is sort of, and I'll finish playing this and then I'll play the next part, sort of and I've said this a bunch of times, an Axis and Allies type situation that you had in World War I, World War II, where you've got this group of people that doesn't want to, conform to the way they're basically sort of sick of the United States running the show is what it sounds like. And now with the United States and Europe, and they want to, Saudi Arabia, Iran, all these other people want to formulate their own little planet ruling club. But anyway, let me finish playing this real quick.
New era. Special relationship and a no limits friendship between Moscow and Beijing. So that's
they went on to specifically talk about a unipolar world.
Yeah, they said
right?
they both are fighting against a unipolar world,
America being the big
and are for a multipolar world. So they're gathering together basically to defeat us, which is, oh man, yeah, that's great.
It was a typical China bureaucratic.
So at any rate, what I read into that, what he was saying, and I've got the link to the full video below, but it seems to me it's the Axis and Allies thing, and this is nothing new. We've heard all of this rhetoric for years and years and years. So who knows where all of this stuff goes, but it does seem it's all. Pretty concerning to me at this point, because it does seem like, 10 years, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, the threat wasn't, I suppose, this real, that it actually could happen. And I think if something like this did happen, a lot of Americans, the United States, would be in for a rude awakening. And I don't mean the United States government per se, or any government around the world, because I think they understand exactly what's going on. But I think American people, because we are so concerned with pronouns, we are so concerned with all this crap that really, we're just going to get snuck up on, a lot of people in this country anyway, and just kind of ask, how did this happen? The people that aren't paying attention, the people with the Ukraine flags in their front yards and not worrying about World War III and not worrying about China because they've got their new iPhone and all their, Walmart junk and all that stuff. Those people are going to be blindsided by all of this. At any rate, he goes on. I wanted to play this part right here because this is, and granted, this is just his opinion, but it's sort of concerning to me that, and when you think about it, it sounds sort of soon, but not really. Let me play this real quick.
So that's good. So here's the problem. China, I believe, before 2025, before the next president is sworn in, you will have a digital currency. I hope I'm wrong on all of these things. I hope I'm wrong on all of these things. You'll have a digital currency. China will be in Taiwan and will be tied up in a major war. I think that is a done deal, because why wouldn't you? If you were China, America is at the tipping point. We are so divided as a nation. Our banking system, the entire West, is just waiting for a little to completely collapse. You have states fighting against states. You have complete unrest at your fingertips all over the West.
So I want to get your guys' thoughts. Leave a comment or something below. What do you think 2025? I mean, that's 2 years away, a year and a half away, somewhere in that time frame, that China would go into Taiwan. Do you think this alliance is going to form quick enough for something like that to happen? You hear all sorts of different stories about Russia and Ukraine, right? Russia, he goes on to talk about in this video how Russia is just completely depleted. But at the same time, you hear stories about how they're about ready to just completely annihilate Ukraine or finish what they started there. Now, can both be true at the same time? I suppose so. Like if they don't get it done now, they're not going to be able to get it done. So it's a good thing that they're at the end, according to Russia anyway. But I just don't know. I don't know how strong Russia is after this as well. But he's right about America being divided. And that's sort of what I was talking about before this is we're so concerned and worried about ourselves and these things that really don't matter on a grand scale. Pronouns and genders and all that and identity politics and all of these things that are so important. And we're not really concerned about this stuff that I feel like could turn into something that is pretty damn large scale. And when you're talking about the financial crisis that we're in right now, the inflation and all of those things, that's it's only going to make things worse. So we've had it so good here in the United States for so long through our entire lifetimes. People just are complacent and don't think that anything like this could ever happen. But I'll tell you what, I think that we are, closer to this than we have ever been in my lifetime anyway. And who knows how this turns out? Like he said before this, he's like, I hope I'm wrong. But who knows how this turns out? But you think of, a couple of years from now, and because we've had things for so good for so long, a couple of years from now just seems like it's really too close. But is it really? You think about digital currency. Is it really that far away? I'm not so sure. So he could be, somewhat correct in that time frame, 5 years or so, somewhere in there. We're going to start seeing things advance really quickly coming up, and this inflation and the banking crisis and all that stuff is a perfect opportunity to push through that digital currency and get that ball rolling. And then that will lead to the digital identities and the social credit score and all sorts of different things, as long as something doesn't break out to disrupt that. And I have a feeling most or a lot of Americans anyway, I don't know about most, but a lot of Americans are not going to go along quietly, I suppose. But I do see China making some moves here in the near future. What those are, I don't know. I don't think it's just posturing and talking. Russia, I by themselves, not a big concern to me. Even though you hear the politicians and everybody, that's been our biggest threat for years, right? China is the one that I'm concerned about. At any rate, I just thought this was an interesting video. Just wanted to jump on and do a quick video talking about it. Oh, a couple people in the chat. What's going on, everyone? Hey, I'm getting ready to get out of here. Like I said, I'm going to be jumping on from time to time. Anytime I see something that's newsworthy, anything, as I'm watching the news or I'm scrolling through my feed or anything, I see something that's newsworthy. I want to talk about it. I thought this was pretty interesting, though, because of the time frame, I think. I mean, we all kind of have the idea that this might happen, but that quickly, I don't know. But at any rate, yeah, I'll be doing these from time to time with this, just basic little thumbnail. If you ever see this is basically just me getting on and jabbering for a few minutes about current events and stuff. I will be doing the regular hour-long or close to it live stream on Thursday nights from now on at 4 o'clock Mountain Time, which is 6 o'clock Eastern Time. Those will be the longer shows that I put a little bit more thought into. This is just sort of an off-the-cuff, my feelings about this situation. But it is one of those things that's concerning. And it's only one of, it seems like 15 right now that are concerning coming into the next few years. So, as far as preparedness is concerned, I think it's really time to, be a little bit more vigilant about what you're doing and be a little bit more vigilant about the things that are going on, because we don't know exactly how bad something like this could get here in the United States. We don't know that we could see anything here as far as military action here on U.S. soil. I just hate to say I don't think so anymore, because you just never know. But we just don't know how all of this stuff is going to unfold, is what I'm saying. So we just need to prepare and do the best we can with all this stuff, because it sure seems like something is coming down the pipe to me. And like he said in the video, I hope I'm wrong, but it sure seems that way to me. So a couple of you guys in the chat real quick while I'm on here, you have any thoughts on this? How do you see... he said that by 2025, we'll be in war with China, basically. We'll have a digital currency. You guys think that's too soon? Too far away? What are your guys' thoughts? And then I'm going to get out of here. If you guys are still there. Oh, plus we've got the delay. Ruben said, yeah, our government now is vulnerable. I absolutely think so. I mean, look who's running the show. Nobody in the government cares about this stuff. They care about identity. What color are you? What race are you? What gender are you? What, all of these, unless it's religion, then they don't care. Unless, it's Muslim or something like that. But if you're a Christian, they don't care. But yeah, our government cares about all these things, and the American people care about all these things. Meanwhile, all this stuff is going on in the background, and Americans and our government, it seems like they feel like that them and Europe together are just going to run the world and tell everybody what to do. China, Russia, Iran, Saudi Arabia, all these people are saying, no, it's not going to work like that anymore. I did have this article. I forgot to mention this. I heard this the other day, and I haven't done a lot of research into this yet, so I don't quite know. But there's a deal between Saudi Arabia, Russia, Iran. Saudi Arabia and Iran is pretty concerning, because those guys are supposed to be enemies, right? But this is, I think, an attempt to get away from the petrodollar and the BRICS, Russia with BRICS and all that, get away from, the American dollar as the reserve currency of the world. This is one step closer to that. So what happens when, because regardless of how much they say about alternative energy and all that crap and green energy, this country runs on the petrodollar. So what happens when all of that falls apart? So I think we're in for, some major stuff in the next little while. I don't even want to put a time frame on it, but we are in for some major stuff going on that we ought to just make sure you're doing exactly it. Be more serious about prepping, I suppose. Do exactly what you can, and just kind of take it seriously, because I think, thank God life has been good for so long as it has, but I don't know how much longer that's going to last. So, Texas Union Homestead, how's it going? He said, they said it's going to happen. My guess is within the next 3 years. Yeah. So, it's not really that far fetched. Like I was saying, when I first watched this video, it seemed like, wow, that's pretty close. That's like a year and a half, 2 years away. It's not really. So we do have a little bit of lead time, and who knows if it, goes exactly like what he's talking about. Again, it's just his opinion, but we do have some lead time, so we can do some things and prepare. And then if everything goes okay and everything gets ironed out or whatever, then we're just better for it. But Ruben said, more of a reason to protect your families and prepare. Yeah, absolutely. All right, so thanks, guys, in the chat. I'm going to get out of here today, though. Like I said, I just wanted to do a quick video, get on here, and talk about this. I thought it was a pretty interesting video. But I did leave that link in the description below to that Glen Beck video. It's a pretty interesting video. It's about 12, 13 minutes long. You can go watch that full video there. But with that, take care and prepare, everyone. We'll see you next time I'm on here.